In 1989, a reggae song began making its way across Nigeria. The song was called Kinky Reggaeman. Its singer was a relatively unknown artist from eastern Nigeria. His name was Andy Shurman. For many Nigerians growing up during the golden age of reggae music, Kinky Reggaeman became impossible to ignore. The song was catchy, the image was memorable, and the album that carried it seemed destined for success. Yet, just as Andy Shaman appeared to be joining the ranks of Nigeria's reggae elite, he disappeared. What happened to Andy Shaman? And why did one of Nigeria's most promising reggae artists walk away from the spotlight? This is his story. Andy Shaman was born Anderson Chimereucheya on February 16, 1961. He hails from Abia State in southeastern Nigeria. Unfortunately, much of his early life remains undocumented. Like many Nigerian musicians of the era, his musical journey was never thoroughly recorded by the media. But by the late 1980s, Shaman had found his way into the Nigerian recording industry and was about to make a major statement. Save the Masses. In 1989, Andy Shurman released his debut album, Save the Masses. Even the title told listeners what kind of artist he wanted to be. This was not merely entertainment. This was message music. The album contains songs such as Save the Masses, Kinky Reggaeman, Fight Them Back, Judgment Day, Let Them Rise, My Creator, No Train, Oladi, and Tabifaction. The themes were unmistakable: social justice, liberation, consciousness, resistance, hope. And Shaman was positioning himself as a reggae messenger, not unlike many of the great reggae artists who inspired generations across Africa. One fascinating aspect of Save the Masses is the quality of musicians involved. This was not a homemade project. The album featured respected session musicians, including Tony Nse on bass guitar, Emma Brown on lead guitar, Amos McCroy of Jazz Six fame handling bass duties on Kinky Reggaeman, and the Shaman himself contributed percussion and congas in addition to vocals. Production duties were handled by Cameroonian producer and keyboardist Kono Teles. Looking back today, the album reminds us of how sophisticated the Nigerian recording industry already was in the late 1980s, long before digital studios and streaming services. Experienced musicians and producers were collaborating across African borders to create professional recordings. To understand Andy Shaman, we must understand the period in which he emerged. The late 1980s represented one of the most exciting periods in Nigerian reggae history. Artists such as Terracotta, Majek Fashek, Raskimono, Orisuliki, The Mandators, Evie Edna, and others were dominating radio stations. Reggae had become the soundtrack of protest, consciousness, and youth expression. Apartheid was still raging in South Africa. Nelson Mandela remained imprisoned. Nigeria was grappling with military rule and economic hardship. Reggae became the language of resistance, and the shaman entered this environment with a message that fits perfectly into the times. Then something unexpected happened. Just as Save the Masses began attracting attention and the shaman left. Over the years, he would spend time in the United States of America, Canada, and Germany. For many fans, it felt as though he had vanished. While other reggae stars continued building their careers in Nigeria, and the shaman became increasingly difficult to find. His departure created a mystery that still surrounds his story today. What might have happened if he had remained? Could he have become one of the defining figures of Nigerian reggae? We may never know. One of the most intriguing chapters in Andy Shaman's career involves an album titled The Messiah Has Come. Digital platform released the album under the name Unlimited Revealer and the Shaman. Yet questions remain. Was this a completely new project? Was it a long-delayed follow-up to Save the Masses? Or was it an older recording that found its way to digital platforms years later? The evidence remains unclear. What is clear, however, is that the themes remain familiar. Leadership, spirituality, social consciousness, the same concerns that shaped Save the Masses continue to appear decades later.
Day by day, there is trouble facing the youth.
After years away from Nigeria, Andy Shaman eventually returned, and remarkably, his message had not changed. His comeback project carried a title that sounded perfectly consistent with his earlier work. Stop the Oppressors. The language was familiar, the concerns were familiar, the mission was familiar, and the shaman still saw himself as a messenger, still saw himself as a voice for ordinary people, still believed reggae should challenge injustice. Though his attempt at a return in 2020 was not followed by much fanfare and praise, the story of Andy Shurman is not simply the story of Kinky Reggaeman. It is the story of an artist who remained committed to a message. From Save the Masses to The Messiah Has Come to Stop the Oppressors, the themes never change. Justice, liberation, truth, consciousness. Perhaps that is why Andy Shaman's story remains fascinating. This is Music in My Ears, the Nigerian Music History channel on YouTube. Kindly subscribe if you're just new here. Make a comment and also share this video for others to enjoy. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.